What is sufficient? As we continue our exploration of the letters to the Ephesians, generally attributed to Paul, we come to the passage we heard today. Some of the lines may be familiar to you, may resonate in your soul. The rest is new and waiting for our consideration. Let us listen again. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in all. But each of us was given grace according to the measure of Christ's gifts. He continues, the gifts he gave were that some would be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers. This we know and have heard. Generations have been raised to understand these words that encourage inclusiveness while validating diversity. The early church grew and thrived on texts like these, and the church today continues to survive on the basis of them. But is that sufficient? Will mere survival be enough to carry the church forward for the next 2,000 years? Webster's Online Dictionary defines sufficient as enough to meet the needs of a situation. The writer of Ephesians spells out some of what he saw as necessary to the situation to meet the furtherance of the faith in that time and place. But he also told those who would listen that it would not be easy, that they would have to work at it, that faith in and of itself might not be sufficient. In her recent novel, Station 11, Emily St. John Mandel borrows the following quote from the Star Trek franchise: because survival is insufficient. This becomes the motto adopted by a group of actors and musicians known as the Traveling Symphony, who move through a barren landscape, bringing classical music and Shakespeare to isolated pockets of humanity still in existence after a devastating worldwide pandemic. In the years immediately following the pandemic, survival was what mattered. Getting through each day, staying one step ahead of whatever trouble might be coming down the road. But as time passed, members of the Traveling Symphony and others came to realize that mere survival was insufficient. They needed some form of shared culture or shared memory, the best of the past and the future, to enable humanity to evolve and become what it was meant to be. Looking at the end of our reading for today, I believe the message is the same. Paul says, we must no longer be children, tossed to and fro, and blown about by every wind of doctrine, by people's trickery, by their craftiness and deceitful scheming. But speaking the truth in love, we must grow up in every way into him who is the head, into Christ, from whom the whole body, joined and knit together by every ligament with which it is equipped, as each part is working properly, promotes the body's growth in building itself up in love. There is a time and a place to be children, as there is a time and a place to survive. But, in the same vein, there is a time and a place to stop being children, to stop just surviving, or just believing, to step outside our comfort zone and work together so that the sum of the parts is truly greater than the whole. Only in this way can we create a life and a faith that is more than sufficient. A life and a faith that is vibrant and responsive and reflective of God's love for the whole of humanity. Each of us has a role to play in the greater scheme of life. It is for these roles that we were given the gifts mentioned above. It is up to us to discover our gifts and then put them to use in the ways most beneficial to ourselves and to society. The old quote says, "No man is an island." After a disaster such as the pandemic described in Station 11, we might choose to live as if the island of ourselves was the only thing that mattered. Paul and God are calling us to do more, to realize that by ourselves we are insufficient. It is time to step up and make a difference in the world, even if it is a very small one. Amen.